Some stories don't begin with greatness. They begin with favor that attracts hatred. A young boy is loved too openly, trusted too early, and given a glimpse of a future he isn't ready for. Before he ever steps into a palace, he is dragged into a pit. Before his name is honored, it is erased. And before his dreams make sense, they nearly destroyed him. This is not just a story about dreams. It is a story about waiting, betrayal, integrity, and a purpose that survives every attempt to bury it. This is the story of Joseph, son of Jacob. Before Joseph was born, there was a long family story already in motion. Joseph's father, Jacob, was the son of Isaac and the grandson of Abraham, the man God made a covenant with. Jacob had a twin brother named Esau. Esau was born first and was supposed to receive the birthright, but Esau despised it. One day, he sold that birthright to Jacob for a bowl of stew. Later, Jacob, encouraged by his mother Rebekah, deceived his father Isaac and took the blessing meant for Esau. This caused deep hatred between the brothers. Esau wanted to kill Jacob, so Jacob ran away. While running for his life, Jacob had a dream where he saw a ladder reaching heaven, and God reaffirmed the covenant he made with Abraham and Isaac, now with Jacob. Years later, after many struggles, God changed Jacob's name to Israel, meaning one who struggles with God and prevails. Jacob eventually returned, reconciled with Esau, and became the father of 12 sons, who would later become the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph was one of them. Joseph was born to Jacob and Rachel, the wife Jacob loved the most. Because Joseph was born in Jacob's old age, and because he was Rachel's son, Jacob loved Joseph more than his other sons. Jacob made this obvious. He gave Joseph a special robe, often described as a coat of many colors, something no other son received. This favoritism created bitterness. Joseph's brothers already disliked him, but things got worse. Joseph began to have dreams. In the first dream, he and his brothers were binding sheaves of grain in the field. Suddenly, Joseph's sheaf stood upright, while his brother's sheaves bowed down to it. Joseph told them they hated him even more. Then Joseph had another dream. This time, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed down to him. When he told this dream, even his father Jacob rebuked him, asking, "Shall I and your mother and your brothers indeed come to bow down to you?" Yet the Bible says Jacob kept the matter in his heart. His brothers, however, grew jealous and angry. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers who were tending sheep near Shechem. Joseph went willingly. When his brothers saw him approaching from afar, they began to plot. "Here comes the dreamer," they said. "Let us kill him and see what becomes of his dreams." They planned to murder him, but Reuben, the oldest brother, intervened. He convinced them not to kill Joseph, but to throw him into a pit instead, secretly planning to rescue him later. So they stripped Joseph of his robe and threw him into an empty pit. Later, while Reuben was away, a group of Ishmaelite traders passed by on their way to Egypt. Judah suggested selling Joseph instead of killing him. So Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver. Just like that, Joseph went from favored son to slave. Joseph's brothers dipped his robe in goat's blood and took it back to their father.
Jacob recognized it and believed Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. Jacob tore his clothes and mourned deeply. "No matter how much comfort I receive," Jacob said, "I will go down to my grave mourning my son." Joseph was gone, but the story was far from over.
Joseph was taken to Egypt and sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. But the Bible makes something very clear. The Lord was with Joseph. Joseph worked faithfully, and everything he touched prospered. Potiphar noticed this and put Joseph in charge of his entire household. Joseph was successful, trustworthy, and respected. But then came another test. Potiphar's wife noticed Joseph and tried to seduce him. Day after day she tempted him. Joseph refused, saying, "How can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" One day she grabbed his garment. Joseph fled, leaving it behind. Angry and humiliated, Potiphar's wife accused Joseph of attempting to assault her. Joseph was thrown into prison. Again, punished for doing the right thing. Even in prison, God was with Joseph. The prison warden noticed Joseph's character and put him in charge of the other prisoners. Two of Pharaoh's officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, were imprisoned there. Both men had troubling dreams. Joseph interpreted them accurately. The cupbearer would be restored to his position. The baker would be executed. Everything happened exactly as Joseph said. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him, but when the cupbearer was restored, he forgot Joseph. Joseph stayed in prison for 2 more years. One night, Pharaoh had disturbing dreams. No one in Egypt could interpret them. Then the cupbearer remembered Joseph. Joseph was brought before Pharaoh. Pharaoh dreamed of 7 healthy cows eaten by 7 thin cows, and 7 good ears of grain swallowed by 7 thin ears. Joseph explained, 7 years of abundance were coming, followed by 7 years of severe famine. Joseph advised Pharaoh to store food during the years of abundance. Pharaoh recognized God's wisdom in Joseph. He promoted Joseph to second in command over all Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old. The famine spread across the land, including Canaan, where Jacob and his sons lived. Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy food. They bowed before Joseph, not knowing who he was. The dreams were being fulfilled. Joseph recognized them, but they did not recognize him. Joseph tested them, accusing them of being spies. He imprisoned them briefly, held Simeon back, and demanded they bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, to Egypt. Jacob was reluctant to send Benjamin, Rachel's other son. But Judah pledges his own life to ensure Benjamin's safe return. When Joseph saw Benjamin, he was deeply moved. Joseph continued to test his brothers, eventually planting a silver cup in Benjamin's sack. When the cup was found, Judah stepped forward, offering himself as a slave in Benjamin's place. This broke Joseph. Joseph could no longer contain himself. He sent everyone else out and wept loudly. Then he said, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" His brothers were terrified, but Joseph said something powerful. "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Joseph forgave them. Joseph brought his father Jacob and the entire family to live in Egypt. Jacob was reunited with the son he thought was dead. Joseph provided for them during the famine. Before Jacob died, he blessed his sons. Joseph lived to see his children and grandchildren.
Before his death, Joseph said, "God will surely visit you and bring you out of this land." Joseph's story teaches us this important lessons. Being chosen does not mean life will be easy, it often attracts resistance first. Character matters more than position, because titles change, but values reveal destiny. Waiting seasons are not wasted seasons. They quietly prepare you for responsibility. What others intend for harm can still become part of a greater purpose. Delayed promises do not mean forgotten promises. Timing shapes maturity and readiness. Growth often happens in hidden places where recognition is absent, but discipline forms. The process may wound you, but it also equips you to heal others later. Joseph went from pit to prison to palace, not because life was fair, but because God was faithful.